Hi, Dan Halsey here, and we are doing a placement of artwork into our 20 scale artwork file. This is in Adobe Illustrator, and this open file is actually our 20 scale template that we use on United Designers as our standard file because it has lots of good data, text files, and things here we can use. The first thing we do, of course, is we just kind of turn those things off for scale notes, things like that, to get those out of the way. Locking them is a good idea. And we are going to now place inside this, on this layer for the aerial 100%, a USDA web soil download. And it's from the PDF from the web soil survey. So we go to File and Place, go to the downloads here, find the soil map. Now make sure you click at the bottom here, see Show Import Options, and link to that file. Now if you do move it, you'll have to change the link on the file. We don't want page 2 or 3, we just want page 1. That's the image that we're looking for. We open that, drag it across the screen, and now it's placed in our artwork. Simple as that to place it, and it's in this layer. You can see a little icon shows up here too. So it's placed, but it's not to scale. To get it to scale, we need to do a little math down here on this corner. And in my case, because I think it's a good practice, take some notes. So right now, the scale on this artwork, and you saw this on one of the other videos perhaps, is 1 to 211. Well, that's 1 inch equals 211 inches, not feet. So that 211 would have to be divided by 12. And I think it was 17.58 or something like that feet. So 1 inch equals 17.58 feet. Now, we know right now that we have a scale on here anyway that we can work with. And in inches, it's 60 feet. If we use the ruler in Adobe Illustrator, we can see how many inches that is for 60 feet. And down here in our info box, it says that's 38.17 inches. So 60 feet would be divided by 38.17 inches, and that would give us our scale. And already it's sounding a little, as you can see, the scale on that might be a little off or a little bit large as far as not very many feet within that for us for what we'd want. So we're going to open up the calculator here, and we have 60 feet divided by 38.17 equals 1.57. So that's actually, each inch is 1.57 feet. What's on the screen, which is huge, right? That's what actually we want that to be is 1 to 20. So in that case, we need to reduce this. So we put 1.57. The one's not so much. So we put 1.57, and then we divide that by 20, I believe. Is that what we want on here? Equals 20. So it's 7%. So if and this is 2 decimals over, we go back to Illustrator, Object, Transform, and Scale to 7%. We say OK. Now we're going to find our artwork here, use the zoom tool to zoom in on this. Now at 20 scale, 60 feet should be 3 inches. So let's go into this measuring tool, measure it here, and we go to 60, and we have 2 oh, look at that, we're in centimeters. That's a problem. Go back up to Illustrator Preferences. Sometimes it opens up this way. Look at it, says inches. but in the info box it's centimeters. This is a problem I've had with Illustrator a number of times. I actually have to go in here and change this. Save it. Now it's in millimeters, right? Then go back to Preferences, Units, and change it again, and change it to inches. It must be a glitch in the software. I don't know why it does that. Type I like to leave those in points. Now we're in inches. So let's measure this again. We might have to do this whole thing all over again. So that distance is 1 inch. Basically 1 inch equals 60 feet. Well, we want 1 inch to equal 20 feet. So we have to blow this up now 300% in order to get that percentage right, or that scale right. So we go back up to Object, Transform, Scale, 300%. All right. Make this small. Zoom in on this once more. Now if it's right, it should be 3 inches. So we use our ruler over here, pull across here, measure that. 3.14, pretty close. Let's try and get back to that. How close can we get? 3.17. So we are a little off, but we want it to be 3. So we actually need to make it slightly larger in order to get it down to 3. We need to make the space so that it's not 3.17, it's actually 3 feet, which means our scale is off by that. So what you can also do is go up to here, Transform, Scale, and put 3 over 3.17, and that gives you your percentage, 94.6%. All right, and we did that percentage. Now let's go back and measure this again. Go back here, and we are at 2.97, pretty close, just far enough for where my measuring tool, or where I'm putting the line here, is off. So there you have 3 points. So now we're to scale. So 60 feet is 3 inches, which means each inch is 20 feet, and we're at 20 scale. That works great. So now we know that we are to scale for our standard scale measurement that we use for all of our symbols over here, and all these things are all at 1 to 20. And the reason we stay 1 to 20 is because the computer doesn't care. We'll resize it later in our title block for our presentation. But right now we want to make sure that everything that we bring into this file is 1 to 20, so that all of our symbols that we have at 1 to 20 then are proportional to that too. I'm going to change my artboard on here to make sure that everything is lining up. Here's the artboard up here, and that means that the only thing that prints on this file is going to be what is in the artboard. So it's good to do that. And then when I do the Command 0, it basically always goes to this and fills the screen. So that's how you scale up. You place and put an artboard around your design to get ready to do your base map. And now we have this first page of the Soil Web Survey map in here, and we can start going in here and then doing all of the, putting in the roof, the roads, all those kinds of things, and start building our base map for our design. Do a quick save as, get that in Designs, use it in Adobe Illustrator type of file, don't make it a PDF, and now we have our file ready to go. So that's placing any kind of PDF, actually, any artwork in here, how to scale it in, and then saving that file. So we're ready to go and start working with our base map. This is Dan Halsey with United Designers, Southwoods Ecosystems. Take care.